Hello and welcome to Channel 42, where we talk about life, the universe, and a little bit of everything. This is another Factorio Noob Tube video, and we're going to cover oil. Oil can get pretty complicated. They've made a couple simplifications in some recent versions that do simplify it a little bit. But to get started, what you're going to need, obviously, an oil field and pump jacks to extract the oil from the ground. You'll need an oil refinery to turn it into different materials, chemical plants to process those different materials into other products, underground pipes, that's pretty much a requirement, and then of course regular pipes as well. You'll also need sometimes a factory. Factories can take liquids. You'll notice here's a factory with just red belts. Here's a factory with blue that requires lubrication. So you'll notice it gives you a little port, and you can rotate that port to the middle of any of the four sides when it does require a liquid to make an actual product. There aren't a ton of different products, but all of the blue express belt do require lubrication, and there are some various other ones as well. So those are the basic components. You'll probably want a stack of a good a couple hundred underground, well, maybe a dozen or so undergrounds, 100 regular, 5 or 6 of these, and 1 or 3 of these. And then usually I go ahead and fill out the entire oil field while I'm at it. So maybe 10 or 15 pump jacks to get started processing oil. So it's definitely a little bit of a get started before you can get going. It's not uncommon to have to tank your oil in. That would be with a train and a tanker right here, fluid wagon, because oil fields are never particularly close to your starting base. Let's get into some of the details of how you do oil. Of course, the first step is to get your pump jack, pump it, and extract it. It doesn't really matter. Of all the things you can't make it look clean and beautiful, pump jacks and oil are one of them, because you just need it to all come together. So it's a little bit of spaghetti, but basically each of these undergrounds and pump jacks combines together. I may have missed this one. Let's go ahead and give us an underground right there to bring it together. And that all comes out on this outflow line right here. Now from here, usually you put it into some storage tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it right over here. There, my storage tanks are filling up. Now, one important thing to know, if you pull up a storage tank, anything in there is going to go away. So I've got 120, 119. This one's probably getting not quite as full because it fills up the other way around. But if I pull this up, that 118, that's gone. There is a way you can create pumps. That would be a pump recipe, these guys right here, to actually empty out into some other storage tanks if you need to, say, move it. But that's definitely not ideal. So you lose anything that you pick up in pipelines and in tanks. You use those same pumps that I just showed you to load up a train car, and you'll actually see where it goes. So what we've got right here, we've got these filling up. It's also coming out here, and then of course you take it to your refinery. There's 3 major ways of refining oil into a further product. Basic refinery, you click on the current recipe, and that's basic oil processing, advanced oil processing, and coal liquefaction. Now this would be if your oil is really low, you can turn coal into oil, but you have to have already had oil. You'll notice it requires 25 heavy oil to get started and steam, and produces 90 heavy oil. So it's kind of a put some in, get more out. Of course, it's consuming coal at that point. So it is an option, but it's not a great option. So of course you've got the basic one here. Basic one takes, you'll notice if we zoom in, now of course this is with alt mode on and hovering over it. There's alt mode off, there's alt mode on. Again, just pushing the alt key or clicking that gives you what recipe it's working on, what it requires in this input. Nothing is required in here, and it creates one product out, and that of course is petroleum. Basic oil refining only makes petroleum gas, and usually you store that in some sort of a container like that. And then you can connect it to your factories and process it. Advanced oil processing requires oil and water. So I've got a water pipeline that comes over here, underground right to here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this guy, that guy. We'll connect these two as well. Oh, so I've got water. It doesn't require it here. This one does. Again, there's the alt, and when you hover over it, it tells you what you need there, what you need there. There's no alternative. If you try and connect them like this, it will say, cannot connect systems with different fluids. So a little bit of error correction to, or error catching to make sure you don't fill up the wrong thing. So this is where it starts getting complicated with advanced oil, which is what you'll want to do as quickly as possible because of the better yield. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video there because that gets you started on what to do with oil and how to get it started. Thanks for watching the video. I'll cover a little bit of a main bus in the next video with oil and also into advanced oil coal liquefaction. Thanks so much, and have a great day.